Did you know that over 80% of people claim they've never witnessed a truly terrifying event? Yet the digital age has blessed or cursed us with undeniable evidence of the inexplicable and eerie. Today, we'll explore some videos that have left even the bravest of viewers questioning the shadows within their rooms. Join us as we have a look at some extremely scary videos caught on camera. Number 20. Kid sees a ghost. A mother is filming her little boy. It's just a regular day, when out of the blue, the kid says that he sees a ghost. That's right, a ghost. And not just any ghost, but one that's standing right there with them. Now, children do have wild imaginations, but this boy is super detailed about what he's seeing, saying that the ghost is walking around just like any of us would. It's kind of creepy. It's like the ghost is trying to be a human or something. But then things get even more weird. The kid says the ghost begins jumping around all crazy-like. One minute it's walking and the next it's bouncing around. It kind of gives you the chills. You can hear the mother in the background of the video trying to stay calm, but you can also tell that she's freaked out. Wouldn't you be if your child was describing a ghost right in front of you? Her voice is worried like any mother would be, and the whole thing is just wild. The boy's innocent voice talking about this ghost and the mother's worried reactions is like something out of a spooky movie. But it is real life. Or is it? Number 19. Watching in the woods. There's a video going around of a bunch of people working in a forest, and not just any time, but at night. They appear to be doing some digging and whatnot, but that's where it gets creepy. One of the guys decides to film what they're doing. Perhaps he wanted to show off their hard work or just capture a memory, but when they played the video back later, they saw something they never expected. In the background, almost hidden amongst the trees, is a white and ghostly figure just standing there watching them. And the strangest part? It looks like it's been there the whole time. Now, these people are busy, working and digging and mind their own business, so they didn't notice the figure while they were out there, but the camera surely did. It's like a ghostly figure wanted to be seen, but only by those who would really look. Number 18. In the mirror. There's this family that lives in a house that is unlike any other home. I'm talking about weird stuff taking place all the time. Shadows that move on their own, noises that come from nowhere. It's the kind of stuff that may make you think twice about staying the night. Most people would probably pack up and leave, but no, not them. They're brave or perhaps just curious, and they decided to record everything that was happening. So they set up cameras all around the house, hoping to catch something or even anything that might explain the weirdness. One afternoon, they were gathered in the living room doing the family thing and talking about what goes on in their house. The camera's rolling, but they're not really expecting anything. And then out of the blue, one of them spots something in the mirror. It's not their reflection, it is someone or something else. A figure, shadowy and mysterious, just standing there watching them. It doesn't move and doesn't make a sound. The family becomes freaked out, and really, who can blame them? They've got this uninvited guest in their mirror, and they have no idea who or what it is. Number 17. Unplanned guest in the video. Now, here's a wild story for you. These are two guys all set to shoot a music video. They've got their lighting and their camera, and the action and everything is perfect. They're in the groove, feeling the music and just letting it all out, when out of nowhere things take a turn. While they're jamming out, something pops up on the screen, and it's not one of the crew or an extra who wandered into the shot. It is a ghostly white figure floating there behind them. It's misty and see-through, as though something straight out of a spooky movie. The music stops and they rush to the spot, looking high and low, but there's nothing there. There are no signs or footprints, but the camera doesn't lie. And there it is on the playback, the eerie figure as clear as day. They're spooked out and scratching their heads, wondering if they should pack up and leave. The next time you watch a music video, you may just be finding yourself looking closer at the background, because you never know who or what might pop up. Number 16. The Wall's Dark Secret. Now, have you ever heard of those wild stories about black magic in Africa? They're intense, and there's one video that has everyone talking. The video starts off talking about how black magic, or voodoo, is kind of a big deal in some parts of Africa. People take it seriously and for good reason, but here's where things get super creepy. There's this guy, a regular man minding his own business, but he gets into some beef with a voodoo priest. It's not a good move, and after their clash, he just kind of vanishes without a trace. His family's freaking out and searching everywhere, asking the neighbors and checking every nook and cranny. Days turn into nights, and there's still no signs. Hope is fading, and whispers about the priest's revenge begin to spread. And one day, someone hears a faint sound coming from a wall in the family's own house. A wall that they've walked past 1,000 times. They get closer, and the sound gets more clear. It's a muffled voice of their missing family member. The family's in shock, and they begin chipping away at the wall, and what they find is straight-up nightmare material. Their loved one buried alive inside the wall. It's like something out of a horror film, but it's real life. Number 15. Pajama Party Gone Wrong. There's this video that's been making the rounds, and it's not your usual sleepover fun. It starts off pretty chill, just two girls at a pajama party, probably planning to chat the night away and watch a movie or two, but things take a wild turn. One of the girls begins acting a little off, and I mean not a little weird, but full-on creepy. Her friend, thinking that it's some kind of joke or prank, decides to record it to show her later and have a laugh, but what she captures on camera is no laughing matter. The girl's voice changes and goes from her usual bubbly self to something deep that doesn't even sound human, and it's as though her voice is being dragged down to the dark abyss. Then, just when you think it cannot get any more scary, she begins laughing. But not a normal laugh, a bone-chilling demonic cackle that would make your skin crawl. Her hands are twisting in ways that hands should not twist, and it's like she's not even in control of her body anymore. The video ends with her laughing loudly in that demonic laugh, but the questions remain. Was she possessed? Was there some supernatural force at play? Whatever it was, it's clear that this was not just any pajama party. It was a night that neither of these girls will ever forget. Number 14. The Uninvited Guest in the Woods. Here's a tale about a couple who decided to take a break from the city and go camping. Deep within the forest, away from the noise, it's just them and nature, which sounds peaceful, though it does not last for long. Out of the blue, the calm is shattered when they hear something. It's not the usual forest sounds, but something more odd. A rustling, a soft whisper, a twig snapping. They brush it off at first, thinking it's a curious animal, but the noises grow louder and closer. Suddenly, the man spots something. There in the shadows, just beyond the reach of their campfire's light, is a face. Not a human face, but something dark, twisted, and chilling. It's watching them with its eyes cold and unblinking. The woman sees it, and they both freeze with their hearts pounding. It doesn't move or speak, it only watches, as if trying to send a message. The couple quickly packs up, leaving behind their dinner and most of their gear, and they don't stop until they're far away from the spot and far from the watchful eyes in the woods. To this day, they're not really sure what it was they actually saw. Number 13. The Night Visitor. This camera is at the entrance of a building doing its usual thing, recording and looking at the empty street with the occasional passing car. There's nothing out of the ordinary until things took a turn that was downright creepy. Out of nowhere in the dead of night, the camera picks up something unusual. It's not a person or an animal, but a shadowy figure, which just appears right there on the screen, floating eerily. It's ghostly and almost see-through, and it's hovering at the entrance. Now here's where it gets even more weird. The figure, as quickly as it appeared, vanishes into thin air. No trace and no explanation, just a chilling moment that's caught on tape. The video's been played over and over, with people trying to figure out what it was. Some say it's a witch, while others are convinced it's a real ghost. The debate is on, but one thing's for sure, it's not something that you see every day. Number 12. The Abandoned Hospital. Lone Mendez and his crew, all set for an adventure, decide to explore an abandoned hospital. You know, the kind that's rumored to be haunted, where every hallway echoes with the secrets of the past. They step into this old and crumbling building with walls that could tell 1,000 tales. It's eerie, with the silence broken only by the sound of their footsteps and the occasional drip of water. The air is thick with mystery of what might have happened in those empty rooms and deserted corridors, and as they go through the hospital with cameras rolling, They capture the decay, desolation, and something catches their eye. There in one of the windows is a woman. She's just sitting there staring out into the darkness, and she's not like anyone you or I would know. Pale and almost transparent, it's almost like she's made of mist. The team freeze, not believing what they're seeing. Could she be real? Is she a ghost? But before they can decide, she does something that sends chills down their spines. She simply vanishes. Just like that, one moment she's there and the next she's gone, as if she had never been there at all. The team is left stunned with their hearts racing, and they search the area looking for any sign of the woman, but end up finding nothing. Number 11. The Witch's Midnight Climb. So there's this video, and let me tell you, it's got a part that's so scary they had to censor it. That's right, it's too terrifying even for the internet, but here's what happened, at least from what they could share without freaking everyone out. They say that it's a witch, and the story goes that she's out there in the dead of night doing things that will make your blood run cold. The creepiest part, she's kidnapping people, and not just any kind of kidnapping. Rumor has it she plans to eat them. Footage of the witch shows that she's not just walking or running, she's actually climbing up a building. It's like she's defying gravity and scaling up the walls as easily as walking on flat ground. And she's fast, just like something out of a horror movie. But wait, it gets worse because she's not alone. She's carrying a body, which looks lifeless and limp. She's hauling this corpse up the building with her, and it's as eerie as it sounds. Number 10. The Hugh Gumble. The scene is set in broad daylight right on a bustling street, and amidst the everyday hustle and bustle, something unusual is happening. There's a figure, the Hugh Gumble, as the legend calls it, and if you're not familiar with Japanese mythology, it's said to be bad news, like really bad. Believed to be a spirit or demon that has a thing for kidnapping children, and its favorite hangout spot are cemeteries and abandoned places. Now, the Hugh Gumble is not hiding or lurking in the shadows. Oh no, it's right there on the street in plain sight, covered in thick and dark hair, standing tall at about 2 meters. But here's the creepiest part, it's simply wandering around aimlessly, not caring about the people around it. It's like it's in its very own world. Number 9. Night Terrors in Toyland. The guard is doing his rounds and everything's quiet, just the hum of the air conditioning and the occasional creak of the building settling in. But then, out of the blue, he hears something that stops him dead in his tracks. It's laughter, but not just any laughter. It's the kind that creeps you out, and it's coming from the storage area. Now he's thinking it's probably just a toy that's been left on, but that's where it gets really weird. He goes to check it out with flashlight in hand, and what he sees is like something out of a horror movie. I'm talking about dolls laughing in a large group, laughing by themselves. The guard's freaked out, and really, who can blame him? Number 8. Mysteries of the Maya train construction. The Yucatan is known for its ancient ruins and lush jungles, hidden secrets buried for centuries waiting to be uncovered. But as the construction for a new train route picked up speed, it seemed like something or someone was not too happy about it. Every evening as the sun went down and darkness took over, an eerie cacophony breaks the silence, a sound that makes anyone within earshot want to run. People describe it as a blending of deep and rumbling growls, almost like an angered beast lurking in the shadows. And layered within those growls are what sounds like muffled cries, whispers of souls lost in time. A continuous scream of agony echoes across the construction site, making the bravest of workers think twice about pulling the late shift. Number 7. The Unseen Playmate. Now let's talk about a family living on a regular street. Every morning they find their children's toys scattered in weird places. It wasn't like they had left them there the night before. A toy car on the grass would now be by the back door, a doll on the patio found on its way to the swing, and no, there was not any wind strong enough to pull such a stunt. The father, being a bit of a detective at heart, had a hunch. He thought that it might be the kids from next door trying to play a prank. With that idea, he set up a security camera to catch them red-handed. And the next morning, the toys had been moved again. Eager to see who the culprits were, they then huddled around the footage, and what they saw was nothing like what they expected. There was not a single person in the footage, but instead the toys began moving on their own, as though they were alive. It was straight out of a movie scene. The cars rolled by themselves, going back and forth. The backyard, usually a place of fun and games during the day, had turned into a ground for silent, ghastly play at night. Number 6. Shadow in the Shuttered House. One day, this young man was messing around with his phone thinking that he was going to film something ordinary, but what he caught on camera was anything but. In one of the house's dusty, long-forgotten windows, there stands a figure. I'm talking about a silhouette which is kind of blurry, but distinctively black that it stands out against the old peeling window. The shape is that of a woman, but not your average woman, more like a figure that's drawn out of night and mystery. There's no telling for sure, and some people say it may just be a trick of the light or a curtain swaying in the breeze, while others feel that it may be something else or otherworldly. The most eerie part is that the house hasn't been lived in for many, many years. Number 5. Scream in the Silence. This footage starts off pretty standard. A dash camera in a patrol car, lights flashing, driving down a seemingly empty road, and the location was super weird. It wasn't anywhere you would expect an accident to happen. I'm talking about a stretch of road that nobody goes, surrounded by abandoned buildings with a history of being a little eerie. The officer gets the call of an accident and at this odd ghost town-like place. The officer, being the brave soul he is, heads there alone with his camera rolling and begins his inspection. He's looking around for clues and for any sign of a reported accident, but everything is still and quiet. And then comes the scream. The kind of scream that makes your blood chill and makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. The kind that echoes in the still night, making you question if it was real or just your imagination. But the officer was not taking any chances. The camera shakes as he bolts back to his car, not even taking the time to turn off the lights. You can see the sheer panic and feel his heartbeat through the footage, and he wasted no time getting out of there. Number 4. The Legless Girl. An old sepia-toned photo with a bunch of kids gathered around for a school event. Amongst the sea of smiling faces, there's one girl who stands out. At first glance, everything seems normal, but as you take a closer look, something is off. Strangely off. The girl in question appears to have no legs. It's as if from the waist down she faded into the background. Now I know what you're thinking, it's gotta be an edit, but this snap was clicked in an era where fancy tools like Photoshop didn't even exist. So how on earth could a photo from these days show something so unnatural? Theories are aplenty. Some people say the girl might have had a rare condition, but it doesn't explain the vanishing act in the photo, while others reckon it might be a guardian angel that was caught on film, watching over the children that day. With no clear answers and only that haunting photograph as evidence, it's hard to say what's really going on. The true story behind the image remains shrouded in shadows, just like the girl's missing legs. Number 3. Horns in the Shadow. A team of paranormal investigators were wandering around an abandoned house. The place was falling apart, the walls were covered in grime, and the atmosphere was heavy with decades of silence. You could feel the weight of history in every nook and cranny, and it's one of those places where you can't help but feel like the walls are watching you. As the camera scans the dim interior, something unusual catches the lens. In the heart of the derelict house stands a figure, and trust me, it's no ordinary person. The silhouette stands eerily still, blending into the decaying backdrop, but the eerie detail that shocks and terrifies is the clear outline of the horns on its head. Yes, that's right, horns. Not your typical antlers or fashion headgear. They were sharp, menacing, and distinctly out of place. The video doesn't overdo it. It's raw and real, making the mystery all that more amazing. Number 2. A Mother's Unseen Nightmare. A regular day turns upside down for a mother when she realizes her little girl is missing. It's heart-pounding as she searches every corner of the house, calling out her name, but gets no answer back. Finally, after what seems like an eternity, she spots her daughter. The girl is hiding under the bed, a typical children's hiding spot. But it gets more weird and scary from there. The mother may breathe a sigh of relief, but as she pulls her daughter out, the camera that's been recording the search captures something else. There, clear as day, is another figure under the bed with the child. It's not a toy or a pet, but something or someone else. The mother swears it was just her daughter under there, but the footage tells a different story. It shows this other presence, barely visible, but definitely there, lurking within the shadows. And what amps up the creepy factor is how calm the daughter is. There's no crying or screaming. It's almost as if she's completely unaware, or even more unsettlingly, maybe used to this unseen companion. Number 1. Vanishing Shadow. This guy is chilling at home and expecting a quiet night in, and the only sound is the hum of his refrigerator or perhaps the distant chatter of a television. And out of nowhere comes a knock, not from the front door or a window, but from his glass door, a soft and deliberate tapping. Curious, he goes to check it out, because who could be knocking at that time of night? And as he approaches, he doesn't see anyone. But what he sees next is the kind of thing that nightmares are made out of. In the door's reflection stands a dark figure, not like a shadow you see when someone walks. No, it's more dark and dense and much more scary. And here's the freakiest part, the figure's not outside. Its reflection appears right behind him, as if it's been standing there the entire time. He then spins around, expecting to come face to face with whatever it is, but there's nothing there, just an empty room. And thinking it may have been his imagination, he turns back to the door, and the figure is gone just like that. As if that wasn't eerie enough, the door, which was shut tight, begins to swing open on its own. No wind, no push, just a door that decides it's time to let something in. It's clear that the world holds mysteries far beyond our understanding. Whether believer or skeptic, these harrowing clips have left an imprint on our minds. Sleep tight, double-check those locks, and remember, sometimes the scariest tales are the ones that are caught on camera. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your camera ready, and I'll see you again.